Look, I don't think there's anything that you can do differently as a coach. I think fielding is like most other things in the game. It's all about confidence. The more you talk about it, the more you focus on it, probably sometimes the harder it becomes. So, look, we're going to highlight some of our great fielding performances and focus on those and try and take the positives out of those performances and try not focus too much on the mistakes you're making. It's the more you focus on those mistakes, the harder it is to overcome them. So we've got to look at the good stuff we've done in the field. We've taken some great catches, had some good runouts, and we've got to focus on that and try and make sure we try and do that on a more consistent basis. Look, end of the day, some teams have got some great fielders, some teams have got some average fielders. It's about getting the right guys in the right positions a lot of the times. Like I say, confidence is a big thing in a fielding unit like it is with batting and bowling. But yep, we've got to make sure that we get ourselves mentally in a good space to go into the series and back ourselves and believe that we are a good fielding side and that we can field really well under pressure. Look, there's no doubt that we've got an experienced core of players in Mushfiq, Riyad, Tamim and Shakib, but always important to try and find one or two younger players and give them an opportunity. So hopefully a guy like Afif can come into the series this time and try and make an impact. I think whilst you've got all those senior players, it's also important to try and develop some young players because those players are not going to be around forever. There's always going to be injuries, retirements, loss of forms with certain players. So you've got to make sure that you've got a broad base of players. So if we can try and get one or two young players to perform consistently, I think that's an important thing for this team. We as a team, we need to make sure we do the basics well. We haven't done the basics well in one-day cricket over the last couple of games. In saying that, it's 3 ODIs ago that we played really well against the West Indies. So look, we're back at home. I think if we can focus really hard on the basics, I think when teams' confidence levels are down, there's no need to try and get fancy or try complicated things. It's to really just make sure you do the basics well in this format. If we can do that, we will get ourselves in a position where we can try one or two things. But we've got to first lay the platforms, do the basics well with bat and with ball, before we can consider getting too clever or too funky in terms of game plans and strategy. No, not at all. The guys have prepared really well these last couple of days. Look, obviously it's not ideal not having the entire coaching staff here, but the domestic coaches, Bubble and Tala, have been of great help. So great that they can be around the team as well. So there's that benefit to it. But look, the guys are all professional. They've played international cricket for a long time. They know what they need to do in terms of their preparation. In terms of decision making, by no means. Ultimately, the captain on the field of play makes all those decisions, and in consultation with the head coach, a lot of those decisions get made. So no, it won't affect us too much at all. Well, I think we're trying to find somebody that can maybe slot into that number 7 role, a batter who can offer some spin bowling options, and there's obviously a couple of options available. There's Afif, there's Mossadegh. We've floated with the idea of Shomo being down there. Shomo can cover for the top order as well. So Mossadegh's coming into that particular space where he's competing for a spot in the lower middle order. Someone that can finish games, good fielder, good package, can bat, can bowl. So we look at him in that particular role.